The morning sun cast long shadows across the runway at London Heathrow as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle prepared for what would become one of their most significant diplomatic missions as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The date was February 23rd, 2019, and the couple was embarking on their first official visit to Morocco at the invitation of King Mohammed VI. The invitation itself had been months in the making. Diplomatic channels between Buckingham Palace and the Royal Palace in Rabat had been working quietly to arrange this visit, which would serve multiple purposes. It was designed to strengthen the already warm relationship between the United Kingdom and Morocco, promote educational opportunities for young people, and highlight the important role of women in Moroccan society. For Meghan, this trip held special significance. She was 7 months pregnant with their first child, and this would be her final official overseas engagement before taking maternity leave. The Duchess had been particularly interested in Morocco's progressive approach to women's education and empowerment, subjects that aligned closely with her advocacy work. The couple's security detail had been planning this journey for weeks. Morocco presented unique challenges for royal protection officers. The country's geography, from the Atlas Mountains to the Atlantic coast, required careful coordination with local authorities. The Moroccan government had assigned their most experienced security personnel to work alongside the British team. As their Royal Air Force aircraft prepared for takeoff, Prince Harry reviewed the detailed itinerary that had been prepared by both British and Moroccan officials. The 3-day visit would include meetings with government ministers, visits to educational institutions, and cultural events designed to showcase Morocco's rich heritage and modern ambitions. The flight to Casablanca would take approximately 3 hours. During this time, the couple reviewed briefing materials prepared by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. These documents contained detailed information about Moroccan customs, current political situations, and the specific projects they would be visiting. Meghan studied information about the Moroccan education system with particular interest. She had learned that Morocco had made significant investments in education, especially for girls and young women. The literacy rate among women had improved dramatically over the past 2 decades, and the government had implemented programs to encourage girls to complete their secondary education. Prince Harry focused on materials related to Morocco's military and peacekeeping contributions. As someone who had served 2 tours in Afghanistan, he was interested in Morocco's role in international peacekeeping missions and their contributions to regional stability in North Africa. The aircraft interior had been configured to provide a comfortable workspace during the flight. The couple used this time to make final preparations for their speeches and to review the protocols for their audience with King Mohammed VI. This meeting would be the centerpiece of their visit and required careful attention to Moroccan royal customs and traditions. As they flew over France and then Spain, the landscape below gradually changed from the green fields of northern Europe to the more arid regions of southern Spain. The couple could see the Mediterranean Sea stretching to their right, knowing that soon they would cross the Strait of Gibraltar and enter African airspace for the first time together as representatives of the British Crown. The briefing materials included fascinating details about King Mohammed VI himself. Born in 1963, he had ascended to the throne in 1999 following the death of his father, King Hassan II. Under his leadership, Morocco had undergone significant modernization while maintaining its cultural identity and Islamic traditions. The king had implemented constitutional reforms, promoted women's rights, and pursued economic development policies that had attracted international investment. Meghan was particularly interested in the king's support for women's education and empowerment. During his reign, Morocco had reformed its family code to give women greater rights in marriage, divorce, and property ownership. These changes have been groundbreaking in the region and demonstrated the king's commitment to social progress while respecting Islamic principles. Prince Harry noted the king's interest in environmental conservation and sustainable development. Morocco had become a leader in renewable energy in Africa, with ambitious projects including some of the world's largest solar power installations. This aligned with Prince Harry's own environmental advocacy work and would provide common ground for their discussions. As their aircraft approached Moroccan airspace, the crew began preparations for landing at Mohammed V International Airport in Casablanca. The airport, named after King Mohammed VI's grandfather, was one of Africa's busiest and most modern aviation hubs. It would serve as the gateway for their Moroccan adventure. The couple could see the Atlas Mountains in the distance as they descended toward Casablanca. These ancient mountains, snow-capped even in February, formed a dramatic backdrop to Morocco's coastal plains. The site was both beautiful and symbolic of the country's diverse geography and the challenges its people had overcome throughout history. Moroccan protocol officers had worked closely with British officials to ensure that every detail of the arrival ceremony would be perfect. The red carpet had been carefully positioned, the honor guard had rehearsed their movements, and local dignitaries had been briefed on proper protocol for greeting British royalty. In the hours leading up to the arrival, Moroccan television and radio stations had been broadcasting special programs about the visit. The Moroccan people were genuinely excited to welcome the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Many remembered Prince Harry's mother, Princess Diana, and her humanitarian work, and they were eager to see how her son and his wife would continue that legacy. The local media had been particularly interested in the Duchess's pregnancy and her fashion choices for the visit. Moroccan designers had been speculating about whether she might wear traditional Moroccan elements or accessories during her stay. The fashion industry in Morocco was hoping for international attention that could result from royal endorsement. Educational institutions across Morocco had been preparing special presentations for the royal visit. Students at the schools and universities they would visit had been practicing traditional songs and preparing displays of their work. Many of these young people saw the visit as an opportunity to showcase Morocco's educational achievements to the world. As the aircraft touched down at Mohammed V International Airport, Prince Harry took Meghan's hand. This was more than just another royal engagement for them. It represented their first major overseas mission as a married couple, their final journey before becoming parents, and an opportunity to contribute to the centuries-old friendship between Britain and Morocco. The engines wound down as the aircraft taxied toward the terminal building where Moroccan officials were waiting to greet them. Through the small aircraft windows, they could see the honor guard standing at attention and the assembled crowd of dignitaries who had come to welcome them to Morocco. For the next 3 days, they would be representing not just the British royal family, but the hopes and aspirations of both nations for continued friendship and cooperation. The success of their visit could pave the way for increased trade, educational exchanges, and cultural partnerships that would benefit both countries for years to come. As they prepared to disembark, both Prince Harry and Meghan felt the weight of responsibility that came with their royal roles. They were about to step into a different culture with its own traditions and expectations, while carrying the hopes of their own government for successful diplomatic engagement. The aircraft door opened, and the warm Moroccan air greeted them as they prepared to begin their journey into the heart of North Africa and into an experience that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. The red carpet stretched before them as Prince Harry and Meghan emerged from their aircraft into the bright Moroccan sunshine. The temperature was pleasantly warm, a welcome change from the cold February weather they had left behind in London. The honor guard stood perfectly still, their uniforms crisp and their rifles gleaming in the afternoon light. Ambassador Thomas Riley, Britain's representative to Morocco, stepped forward with a broad smile. He had been working for months to ensure this visit would be a success, coordinating with both governments to create an itinerary that would strengthen diplomatic ties while showcasing the best of Moroccan culture and achievement. Meghan wore a stunning red Valentino dress that seemed to capture the colors of the Moroccan flag. Her choice had been deliberate, a gesture of respect and appreciation for their host nation. The dress was perfectly tailored to accommodate her pregnancy, while maintaining the elegance expected of royal engagements. Prince Harry wore a dark suit with a subtle pattern that complemented his wife's outfit. His military bearing was evident as he stood at attention during the playing of both the British and Moroccan national anthems. The sound of the music echoed across the airport as hundreds of onlookers watched from behind security barriers. The Moroccan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nasser Bourita, approached to offer the official welcome on behalf of King Mohammed VI. He had served in various diplomatic positions throughout his career and understood the importance of this visit for both nations. His English was excellent, honed through years of international negotiations and diplomatic conferences. Minister Bourita expressed the king's regret that he could not personally greet them at the airport, but explained that His Majesty was preparing for their formal audience at the royal palace in Rabat. This meeting would be the highlight of their visit and required extensive preparation according to Moroccan royal protocol. A convoy of vehicles waited to transport the royal couple and their entourage to their first destination. The motorcade included both British and Moroccan security vehicles, their presence a reminder of the careful planning that had gone into ensuring the safety of the distinguished visitors. As they traveled through Casablanca, crowds of people lined the streets, waving Moroccan and British flags. Many had been waiting for hours in the hope of catching a glimpse of the famous couple. Children held up hand-drawn signs welcoming the Duke and Duchess, their excitement evident even from inside the moving vehicles. The route had been carefully planned to showcase different aspects of Casablanca while maintaining security. They passed through modern business districts with gleaming office towers, traditional neighborhoods with narrow streets and whitewashed buildings, and bustling markets where the aroma of spices and fresh bread filled the air. Meghan was particularly struck by the Hassan II Mosque, which dominated the city skyline. The massive structure, with its towering minaret reaching toward the heavens, represented both Morocco's Islamic heritage and its architectural ambitions. The mosque could accommodate over 100,000 worshippers and was considered one of the most beautiful religious buildings in the world. Their first official stop was the Villa des Arts, a cultural center that showcased contemporary Moroccan art and creativity. The center had prepared a special exhibition featuring works by emerging Moroccan artists, many of whom drew inspiration from both traditional Islamic art and modern international movements. The director of the center, Dr. Fatima Zahra Lakrissa, greeted them with enthusiasm. She had spent weeks preparing for this visit, selecting artworks that would best represent the diversity and vitality of Moroccan creative expression. Her team had also arranged for several young artists to be present to discuss their work directly with the royal visitors. Meghan engaged immediately with the artists, asking thoughtful questions about their inspiration and techniques. Her background in theater and her appreciation for visual arts made her a natural participant in these conversations. She was particularly drawn to a series of paintings that depicted Moroccan women in contemporary settings while incorporating traditional motifs and symbols. Prince Harry focused his attention on artworks that addressed social themes, including pieces that highlighted environmental conservation and community development. His military background had given him an appreciation for art that told stories of human resilience and achievement, and he found several examples that resonated with his own experiences. One young artist, Khaled Benghazi, had created a series of sculptures using recycled materials from Casablanca's industrial areas. His work addressed themes of environmental responsibility while creating beauty from discarded objects. Prince Harry spent considerable time discussing the artist's process and the message he hoped to convey through his art. The visit to the cultural center also included a performance by traditional Moroccan musicians. The group played both classical pieces that had been performed for centuries and contemporary compositions that blended traditional instruments with modern musical influences. The sound of the oud, drums, and flutes created an atmosphere that transported the visitors into the heart of Moroccan musical heritage. During a brief break in the program, Ambassador Riley provided additional background information about Morocco's cultural policies. The government had invested significantly in preserving traditional arts while encouraging innovation and contemporary expression. This balance between heritage and modernity would be a recurring theme throughout their visit. The couple then traveled to a nearby school that participated in a British Council educational exchange program. The school, École Internationale de Casablanca, had been partnering with schools in the United Kingdom to provide students with opportunities to learn about each other's cultures and educational systems. The headmaster, Mr. Ahmed Ben Ali, had been working in education for over 20 years and had seen tremendous changes in Moroccan schools during that time. He was particularly proud of the school's achievements in science and technology education, areas where Moroccan students were increasingly competing successfully at international levels. Students from various grade levels had prepared presentations about their exchange experiences with British schools. Many had participated in video conferences with students in London, Manchester, and Birmingham, sharing information about their daily lives, cultural traditions, and academic interests. 12-year-old Aisha Qudri stood nervously as she prepared to present her project about renewable energy in Morocco. She had been working on this topic for months, inspired by Morocco's ambitious solar energy projects in the Sahara Desert. Her presentation included photographs of a North solar power station and charts showing Morocco's progress toward energy independence. Megan knelt down to Aisha's level and asked her about her future career plans. The young girl's face lit up as she explained her dream of becoming an engineer and contributing to Morocco's renewable energy sector. This conversation would later be remembered as one of the most touching moments of the entire visit. Prince Harry joined a discussion with older students about their participation in international youth leadership programs. Several had attended conferences in Europe and Africa where they had worked on projects addressing climate change, educational equality, and economic development. The visit to the school concluded with a traditional tea ceremony in the school's courtyard. Students had prepared Moroccan mint tea according to recipes passed down through their families, and they served traditional pastries that their mothers had baked for the occasion. The informal atmosphere allowed for genuine conversations between the royal couple and the young Moroccans. As afternoon turned to evening, the convoy prepared for the journey to Rabat, Morocco's capital city. The drive would take them through some of Morocco's most beautiful countryside, including olive groves and agricultural areas that had been cultivated for centuries. During the drive, Prince Harry and Meghan had their first opportunity to relax and reflect on their initial impressions of Morocco. Both were struck by the warmth and enthusiasm of their welcome, and by the genuine pride that Moroccans took in their country's achievements and traditions. The landscape along the highway to Rabat was dotted with small villages where traditional life continued much as it had for generations. Farmers tended their fields with a combination of modern equipment and traditional methods, and shepherds guided their flocks along paths that had been used for centuries. As they approached Rabat, the modern skyline came into view, with government buildings and international hotels creating an impressive urban landscape. But even in the capital, traditional architecture remained prominent, with the red walls of the old city and the tower of the Hassan Mosque serving as reminders of the city's ancient heritage. Their accommodation for the night was the luxurious La Mamounia Hotel, which had hosted royalty and celebrities from around the world. The hotel's gardens, with their orange trees and fountains, provided a peaceful retreat after their busy first day in Morocco. That evening, as they prepared for the next day's activities, both Prince Harry and Meghan felt a growing appreciation for Morocco's unique character. The country had successfully maintained its cultural identity while embracing modernization and international cooperation. This balance would become even more apparent as they prepared for their audience with King Mohammed VI. The morning sun cast golden light across the walls of the royal palace in Rabat as Prince Harry and Meghan prepared for their formal audience with King Mohammed VI. The palace, known locally as Dar al-Moxon, had served as the seat of Moroccan royal power for centuries, its architecture reflecting both Islamic traditions and the grandeur befitting a modern monarchy. Palace protocol officers had been working since dawn to ensure every detail was perfect for this historic meeting. The throne room had been prepared according to ancient customs, with traditional carpets arranged precisely and incense burning to create the appropriate atmosphere for receiving foreign royalty. Meghan chose a navy blue dress by Jason Wu, elegant and respectful while appropriate for her pregnancy. She wore minimal jewelry, understanding that in Islamic culture, modesty was valued over ostentation. Her choice demonstrated her careful attention to cultural sensitivity and her respect for Moroccan traditions. Prince Harry wore his military dress uniform, complete with medals from his service in Afghanistan. This choice honored both his own military background and the long tradition of military cooperation between Britain and Morocco. The uniform also acknowledged the king's role as supreme commander of the Moroccan Royal Armed Forces. The couple's motorcade entered the palace grounds through massive gates that had protected Moroccan rulers for generations. The route took them through gardens where fountains sparkled in the morning light, and orange trees filled the air with their sweet fragrance. These gardens had been designed centuries ago according to Islamic principles that viewed paradise as a garden with flowing water. Palace guards in traditional uniforms stood at attention as the motorcade passed. These guards maintained customs dating back to the earliest Moroccan dynasties, their presence linking the current monarchy to centuries of royal tradition. Their red uniforms and ceremonial weapons created a stunning visual display that impressed even the experienced British protocol officers. Ambassador Thomas Riley accompanied the couple, along with a small delegation of British officials. Each had been briefed extensively on Moroccan royal protocol, including the proper forms of address, appropriate gestures, and the sequence of events that would unfold during the audience. The palace's interior was breathtaking, with intricate tilework covering the walls and ceilings decorated with traditional geometric patterns. These designs, known as arabesques, have been created by master craftsmen using techniques passed down through generations. The artistry represented the pinnacle of Islamic decorative arts and created an atmosphere of timeless beauty. King Mohammed VI waited in the throne room, seated on a chair that combined traditional Moroccan design with symbols of modern royal authority. At 56 years old, the king carried himself with the dignity that came from 2 decades of leadership during a period of significant change and modernization in Morocco. The king had prepared carefully for this meeting, viewing it as an opportunity to strengthen Morocco's relationship with Britain while showcasing his kingdom's achievements in education, women's rights, and economic development. He had particular respect for Prince Harry's military service and Meghan's advocacy work, seeing them as representatives of a new generation of royal leadership. As protocol required, Prince Harry and Meghan were formally announced before entering the throne room. The announcement was made in both Arabic and French, Morocco's official languages, followed by English as a courtesy to the visiting royalty. The ceremony maintained traditions that connected this modern monarchy to its historical roots. The king rose to greet his guests, a gesture of respect that acknowledged both their royal status and their role as representatives of a friendly nation. His greeting was warm but formal, striking the appropriate balance between personal warmth and diplomatic protocol. King Mohammed VI spoke excellent English, having been educated partly in France and having extensive experience with international diplomacy. His first words to the couple expressed his pleasure at welcoming them to Morocco and his hope that their visit would strengthen the bonds between their 2 nations. The formal portion of the audience included an exchange of gifts that followed diplomatic traditions. Prince Harry presented the king with a specially commissioned piece of British craftsmanship, while King Mohammed VI offered gifts that represented the finest of Moroccan artistry and culture. The king's gift to Meghan was particularly thoughtful, a beautifully crafted traditional Moroccan jewelry box made by women artisans from a cooperative that the government supported as part of its women's empowerment initiatives. The box contained traditional Moroccan amber jewelry that had been selected specifically for her. For Prince Harry, the king presented a traditional Moroccan dagger with an elaborately decorated sheath, symbolizing the warrior tradition that both men understood through their military backgrounds. The weapon was a masterpiece of Moroccan metalwork, created by craftsmen whose families had served Moroccan royalty for generations. The conversation that followed was wide-ranging and substantive. King Mohammed VI spoke passionately about Morocco's education reforms, particularly the efforts to increase literacy rates among women and to ensure that girls had equal access to educational opportunities. These reforms have been among his highest priorities since becoming king. Meghan asked thoughtful questions about the challenges of implementing social change while respecting traditional values. The king appreciated her understanding of the delicate balance required to modernize society without losing cultural identity. Their discussion revealed shared values about the importance of empowering women while respecting diverse cultural contexts. Prince Harry and the king found common ground in their discussion of military cooperation and peacekeeping efforts. Morocco had contributed significantly to United Nations peacekeeping missions, and the king was proud of his military's professionalism and international reputation. Both men understood the burden of leadership in military contexts and the responsibility that came with command. The king described Morocco's growing role in African diplomacy and development. Under his leadership, Morocco had rejoined the African Union and had increased investment in sub-Saharan African countries. This expansion of influence was part of a broader strategy to position Morocco as a bridge between Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Economic development was another major topic of conversation. The king explained Morocco's ambitious infrastructure projects, including new ports, highways, and the high-speed rail line connecting Casablanca and Tangier. These projects were transforming Morocco's economy and creating new opportunities for international trade and investment. The discussion also touched on environmental issues, an area where both Prince Harry and the king shared strong interests. Morocco's commitment to renewable energy had made it a leader in the region, with solar and wind projects that were attracting international attention and investment. The king was particularly proud of the North Solar Complex, one of the world's largest solar power installations. Cultural preservation was another area of mutual interest. The king described efforts to maintain Morocco's traditional arts and crafts while providing artisans with modern marketing and business skills. This approach ensured that traditional skills survived while providing sustainable livelihoods for communities that had practiced these crafts for generations. The audience lasted longer than originally scheduled, a sign of the genuine connection that developed between the royal families. Protocol officers from both sides noted the easy conversation and shared laughter that characterized the meeting, indicators of successful diplomatic engagement. During a break in the formal discussions, the king personally showed his guests some of the palace's most treasured artifacts, including ancient manuscripts and examples of traditional Moroccan craftsmanship. This personal touch demonstrated the king's genuine pride in his heritage and his desire to share Morocco's cultural wealth with his distinguished visitors. The king expressed particular interest in Meghan's work on women's empowerment, asking detailed questions about her experiences and perspectives. He shared his own efforts to advance women's rights in Morocco while respecting Islamic principles, describing the constitutional and legal reforms that had expanded women's opportunities in recent years. As the formal audience concluded, King Mohammed VI extended an invitation for the couple to return to Morocco in a private capacity after their baby was born. This personal invitation, going beyond diplomatic protocol, indicated the genuine warmth that had developed during their meeting and the king's hope for continued friendship. The farewell ceremony maintained the same dignity and formality as the welcome, with traditional music playing as the couple prepared to leave the palace. Palace guards presented arms as their motorcade departed, a final honor that acknowledged their status as honored guests of the Moroccan crown. As they traveled back through Rabat's streets, both Prince Harry and Meghan reflected on the significance of their meeting with King Mohammed VI. They had encountered a modern monarch who was successfully navigating the challenges of leadership in a rapidly changing world while maintaining respect for tradition and cultural identity. The audience had exceeded all expectations, establishing a personal connection that would enhance diplomatic relations between Britain and Morocco for years to come. Both couples had found shared values and common interests that transcended the formalities of state protocol. Following their successful audience with King Mohammed VI, Prince Harry and Meghan embarked on the second day of their Moroccan visit with renewed energy and enthusiasm. Their itinerary included visits to educational institutions and cultural sites that would showcase Morocco's commitment to progress while honoring its rich heritage. Their first destination was the Hassan Tower and Mausoleum of Mohammed V in Rabat, one of Morocco's most significant historical sites. The tower, originally intended to be part of the largest mosque in the world during the 12th century, stood as a testament to the architectural ambitions of medieval Morocco. Though never completed due to the death of its patron, Sultan Yaqub al-Mansur, the tower remained an iconic symbol of the nation's glorious past. Dr. Abdelatif Kabaj, director of the Mohammed V Foundation, served as their guide through the complex. His deep knowledge of Moroccan history brought the ancient stones to life as he explained the significance of each architectural element and the stories behind their creation. The mausoleum itself housed the tombs of King Mohammed V, the grandfather of the current king, and King Hassan II, the father of King Mohammed VI. These two rulers had guided Morocco through its independence from French colonial rule and its emergence as a modern nation. The solemn beauty of the marble interior, with its intricate geometric patterns and soft lighting, created an atmosphere of reverence and national pride. Meghan was particularly moved by the craftsmanship of the mausoleum's interior. Master artisans had spent years creating the intricate zellige tile work and carved plaster decorations that adorned the walls and ceiling. The precision and beauty of their work represented centuries of artistic tradition that continued to thrive in modern Morocco. Prince Harry laid a wreath at the tomb of King Mohammed V, a gesture of respect that acknowledged the late king's role in Morocco's independence and his friendship with Britain during challenging times. The ceremony was simple but meaningful, observed by Moroccan officials who appreciated this tribute to their national hero. From the mausoleum, they traveled to the Kasbah of the Udayyas, a historic fortress that overlooked the Atlantic Ocean. This 12th century stronghold had protected Rabat from seaborne invasions for centuries and now served as a UNESCO World Heritage Site that preserved Morocco's medieval urban architecture. The narrow streets of the Kasbah, with their whitewashed walls and blue-painted doors and windows, created a picturesque setting that had changed little over the centuries. Local residents still lived within the ancient walls, maintaining traditions that connected them to their ancestors while adapting to modern life. Fatima Benkarain, a local historian and resident of the Kasbah, welcomed them to her family home. For 4 generations, her family had lived within these walls, and she had become an expert on the daily life and traditions of the Kasbah community. Her knowledge came not from books, but from lived experience and stories passed down through her family. Mrs. Benkarain demonstrated the traditional art of henna decoration, a practice that remained central to Moroccan celebrations and ceremonies. Meghan graciously accepted a simple henna design on her hands, understanding that this gesture honored a tradition that brought women together across generations and social classes. The couple enjoyed traditional Moroccan tea in Mrs. Benkarain's courtyard, where orange trees provided shade and the sound of fountains created a peaceful atmosphere. The tea ceremony itself was an art form, with the hostess demonstrating the proper technique for pouring the tea from a height that created the perfect foam. Their educational mission continued with a visit to the Lycée Qualifiant Lala Aisha, a girls' school that had become a model for women's education in Morocco. The school was named after Princess Lala Aisha, the sister of King Mohammed V, who had been a pioneering advocate for women's rights and education in Morocco during the independence era. Principal Khadija Alami had led the school for 15 years and had overseen its transformation into one of Morocco's premier educational institutions for young women. Under her leadership, the school had achieved remarkable success rates in national examinations and had sent graduates to universities throughout Morocco and internationally. The students had prepared a special program for their royal visitors, including presentations about their academic achievements, cultural activities, and future aspirations. These young women represented Morocco's commitment to gender equality in education and their potential contributions to their nation's future development. 17-year-old Amina Tatsi presented her research project on renewable energy technologies in Morocco. Her work focused on the economic and environmental benefits of the country's solar energy investments, and she had corresponded with researchers at British universities as part of her studies. Her confidence and knowledge impressed both Prince Harry and Meghan, who recognized her potential for future leadership. Another student, Yasmin El Fassi, demonstrated her skills in traditional Moroccan calligraphy while explaining how she was adapting these ancient techniques for contemporary graphic design. Her work represented the kind of innovation that Morocco was encouraging, honoring traditional arts while finding new applications for ancient skills. The school's science laboratories were equipped with modern equipment that allowed students to conduct experiments and research projects comparable to those in the best schools anywhere in the world. Morocco's investment in educational infrastructure had been substantial, and this school exemplified the results of that commitment. Meghan spent considerable time talking with students about their career aspirations and the challenges they faced as young women in a rapidly changing society. Many expressed ambitions to become doctors, engineers, teachers, and business leaders, demonstrating the effectiveness of Morocco's efforts to expand opportunities for women. The couple also visited the school's library, which contained both traditional Arabic texts and modern international literature. The librarian, Mrs. Aisha Ben Ali, had worked to create a collection that honored Morocco's intellectual heritage while providing students with access to global knowledge and perspectives. During lunch at the school, prepared by students in their hospitality training program, Prince Harry and Meghan learned about Morocco's efforts to integrate practical skills training with traditional academic subjects. Students could graduate with both university preparation and professional qualifications that prepared them for immediate employment. The afternoon included a visit to the Musée Mohammed VI Dar Moderne et Contemporain, Morocco's premier modern art museum. The museum's collection included works by Moroccan artists alongside international pieces, creating a dialogue between local and global artistic movements. Museum director Dr. Abdelaziz El Idrissai had curated a special exhibition featuring contemporary Moroccan women artists. These artists were exploring themes of identity, tradition, and modernity through various media, creating works that reflected their experiences as Moroccan women in the 21st century. One particularly striking piece was a series of photographs by artist Lala Essaidi that reinterpreted traditional Moroccan interior spaces with contemporary female subjects. Her work challenged conventional representations of Arab women while celebrating the beauty of traditional Moroccan architecture and decoration. Prince Harry engaged with artists whose work addressed social and political themes, including pieces that explored Morocco's role in African development and its relationship with former colonial powers. These conversations provided insights into how young Moroccans viewed their country's place in the world and their hopes for the future. The museum visit concluded with a reception attended by artists, cultural leaders, and government officials responsible for Morocco's cultural policies. Minister of Culture and Communication Mohammed explained the government's commitment to supporting contemporary artistic expression while preserving traditional cultural forms. During this reception, several young Moroccan artists presented their work directly to the royal couple. These emerging talents represented the diversity of contemporary Moroccan art, from traditional crafts reimagined for modern audiences to cutting-edge digital art that explored global themes through Moroccan perspectives. As evening approached, Prince Harry and Meghan prepared for their final day in Morocco. Their experiences at educational institutions and cultural sites had provided deep insights into Morocco's successful balance between tradition and modernity and between local identity and global engagement. The day had reinforced their appreciation for Morocco's achievements in education and culture while highlighting the potential for increased cooperation between Britain and Morocco in these areas. Both recognized opportunities for educational exchanges that could benefit students in both countries and for cultural collaborations that could strengthen understanding between their peoples. Their conversations with students, artists, and cultural leaders had revealed a generation of young Moroccans who were proud of their heritage while eager to contribute to their country's continued development and its growing role in international affairs. The final day of Prince Harry and Meghan's Moroccan visit began with golden sunlight streaming across the Atlas Mountains, visible from their accommodation in Asni, a small town nestled in the foothills. This remote location had been chosen specifically to showcase Morocco's rural development initiatives and to demonstrate the government's commitment to improving life in mountainous regions that had historically been isolated from economic progress. Their journey to Asni the previous evening had taken them through landscapes that seemed unchanged for centuries, with traditional Berber villages dotting the mountainsides and terraced fields carved into steep slopes by generations of farmers. The drive itself had been an education in Morocco's geographical diversity and the challenges of governing a country that included both modern cities and remote mountain communities. The morning program focused on educational initiatives designed to serve rural populations. Their first stop was a boarding school for girls from remote mountain villages, many of whom would otherwise have no access to secondary education due to the distances involved in daily travel to urban schools. Director Fatima Zurabawatsa had dedicated her career to rural education after growing up in a similar mountain village where few girls completed their primary education. Under her leadership, the school had become a model for rural educational development, providing not only academic instruction, but also practical skills that students could use to improve conditions in their home communities. The school building itself was a marvel of sustainable architecture, designed to withstand mountain weather while incorporating traditional Berber design elements. Solar panels provided electricity, while rainwater collection systems ensured reliable water supplies despite the challenging mountain climate. These features made the school largely self-sufficient and environmentally sustainable. 15-year-old Aisha Ait Brahim, whose family raised goats in a village 3 hours away by mountain paths, served as student representative for the royal visit. Her confidence and articulate presentation about her educational experiences demonstrated the transformative power of accessible education for rural young women. Aisha explained how her education was allowing her to help her family improve their livestock management practices while preparing her for possible university study in veterinary science or agricultural development. Her story exemplified the school's goal of maintaining students' connections to their communities while expanding their opportunities for the future. The students had prepared a presentation about their environmental conservation project, which involved working with their families and neighbors to implement sustainable farming practices that preserve mountain ecosystems while improving agricultural productivity. This project connected their academic learning to practical improvements in their home communities. Meghan was particularly moved by the stories of students whose families had made significant sacrifices to support their daughter's education. Many families had to manage without their daughter's help with household and agricultural work, demonstrating their commitment to breaking cycles of limited opportunity that had persisted for generations. The school's library contained materials in Arabic, French, and Berber languages, ensuring that students could access knowledge while maintaining their cultural and linguistic heritage. The multilingual approach reflected Morocco's recognition that educational success required respect for local identities and traditions. Prince Harry joined a discussion with male teachers and administrators about the challenges of changing traditional attitudes toward girls' education in conservative rural communities. These educators described their patient work with families and community leaders to demonstrate the benefits of educating daughters without threatening traditional values or social structures. The visit included a demonstration of traditional Berber crafts that were being taught as part of the curriculum. Students learned weaving, pottery, and metalwork techniques that had been practiced in their communities for centuries, ensuring that these skills would not be lost to modernization while providing potential sources of income. Following their school visit, The couple traveled to a cooperative carpet-weaving workshop that employed women from surrounding villages. This cooperative represented Morocco's approach to rural economic development, supporting traditional industries while providing modern business training and marketing assistance. Cooperative President Khadija Ochin had transformed what had been individual subsistence craft production into a successful business that sold carpets to international markets while providing steady income for dozens of rural women. Her leadership had demonstrated how traditional skills could be preserved and made economically viable in the modern global economy. The workshop buzzed with activity as women worked at traditional looms, creating intricate patterns that had been passed down through their families for generations. Each carpet required months of work, with complex geometric designs that represented regional variations in Berber artistic traditions. Megan observed the carpet-making process with fascination, asking detailed questions about the techniques and symbolism embedded in traditional patterns. The women explained how different colors and designs carried specific meanings related to protection, fertility, prosperity, and spiritual beliefs that remained important in Berber culture. The cooperative had also developed training programs for younger women, ensuring that traditional skills would continue to the next generation while providing economic opportunities that allowed young people to remain in their ancestral villages rather than migrating to cities in search of work. Prince Harry learned about the business side of the cooperative, including how members had learned accounting, quality control, and international marketing techniques that allowed them to compete in global markets while maintaining traditional production methods that gave their products authentic cultural value. The final scheduled event was a traditional lunch prepared by families from several mountain villages, featuring regional specialties that showcased the distinctive cuisine of Morocco's mountain regions. The meal was served in a large tent decorated with traditional carpets and textiles, creating an atmosphere that honored Berber hospitality traditions. Local tribal leader Hajj Mohammed Wali offered the traditional welcome that mountain communities extended to honored guests. His words, delivered in Berber and translated into Arabic and English, emphasized the historical friendship between Morocco and Britain and expressed hopes that this visit would strengthen understanding between their peoples. The lunch conversation included discussions with village leaders about the challenges of maintaining traditional communities while accessing modern healthcare, education, and economic opportunities. These leaders describe how government programs were helping to build roads, provide electricity, and establish communication networks that connected remote villages to the broader Moroccan economy. Young people from the villages shared their perspectives on balancing respect for traditional ways of life with desires for education and career opportunities that might require leaving their ancestral homes. Their thoughtful comments revealed the complex choices facing Morocco's rural youth as their country continued to modernize. As afternoon approached, the time came for formal farewells and the journey back to Casablanca for their departure. The contrast between the mountain setting and their imminent return to international airports and diplomatic protocols highlighted the breadth of experiences Morocco had provided during their three-day visit. King Mohammed VI had arranged for a final meeting at the Casablanca airport before their departure. This gesture of personal attention underscored the success of their visit and the king's satisfaction with the diplomatic and cultural exchanges that had taken place. The king's farewell remarks emphasized themes that had run throughout their visit: Morocco's commitment to progress while maintaining cultural identity, the importance of international friendship and cooperation, and hopes for continued collaboration between Morocco and Britain in education, cultural preservation, and economic development. Prince Harry's response acknowledged the profound impact of their Moroccan experience and conveyed genuine appreciation for the warmth and hospitality they had received at every level of Moroccan society. He spoke of plans to continue supporting educational exchanges and cultural collaborations that would benefit both nations. Meghan expressed particular gratitude for the opportunity to meet Moroccan women who were successfully combining traditional values with modern aspirations. Their stories had provided inspiration and insights that would influence her future advocacy work and her understanding of women's empowerment in different cultural contexts. The gifts exchanged during this final ceremony included commitments for ongoing cooperation. Morocco offered to host British students interested in learning Arabic or studying North African culture, while Britain extended invitations for Moroccan educators to participate in professional development programs at British universities. As their aircraft prepared for takeoff, both Prince Harry and Meghan reflected on the significance of their Moroccan adventure. They had experienced a country that was successfully navigating the challenges of the modern world while maintaining its distinctive character and values. The visit had achieved its diplomatic objectives, strengthening ties between Britain and Morocco while showcasing both nations' commitments to education, cultural preservation, and international cooperation. More personally, it had provided the couple with insights into effective leadership and successful social change that would influence their future work. Their final view of Morocco was the Atlas Mountains silhouetted against the setting sun, an image that would remain with them as a symbol of the timeless beauty and enduring strength they had discovered in this remarkable North African kingdom. The success of their visit would lead to lasting initiatives, including student exchange programs, cultural partnerships, and economic cooperation agreements that would benefit both nations for years to come. Their experience had demonstrated the power of personal diplomacy and cultural exchange in building understanding between different peoples and nations. As they flew back toward London, both carried with them new friendships, deeper understanding, and renewed commitment to the international cooperation and cultural bridge building that had made their Moroccan visit such a remarkable success.